If you're watching this right now, there's a good chance you're trying to answer one question. Should you claim your Social Security at 62, your full retirement age, or wait until 70? It sounds like a simple decision. Pick a number, file your paperwork, start collecting your checks. But that single decision could determine whether you receive or leave behind hundreds of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. Most people don't realize that, because when they ask for advice, they're usually shown a simple chart, or a colorful spreadsheet, or an online calculator. The conclusion is almost always the same. If you think you'll live past around age 78, wait. If you don't, claim early. Simple, clean, mathematical. There's just one problem. That advice leaves out some of the most important parts of the equation. It treats retirement like a math problem instead of a real life. It assumes inflation barely matters. It assumes your expenses stay predictable. It assumes taxes won't change the outcome. And perhaps most importantly, it assumes the only person your decision affects is you. That's simply not true. Because the standard break-even calculation is only telling you part of the story. And sometimes, half the story can lead to the wrong decision. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the biggest myths in retirement planning. We'll expose why the traditional break-even calculator can give retirees a dangerously incomplete picture. We'll uncover the hidden power of Social Security's annual cost of living adjustments, and why delaying your claim may have a bigger long-term impact than many people realize. Then, we'll look at one factor almost every online calculator ignores completely: your spouse. Because choosing when to claim your benefits isn't always just about maximizing your own retirement. Sometimes, it's about protecting the person who may one day depend on those benefits the most. So before you file your paperwork, before you lock in a decision that could last the rest of your life, and before you trust another generic retirement calculator, let's look at what the numbers are really trying to tell you. Let's start by challenging the idea almost everyone has heard: the break-even age. On the surface, it sounds perfectly logical. Claim your Social Security at 62, and your monthly checks will be smaller, but you'll receive them for more years. Wait until 70, and your monthly checks become much larger. The trade-off is that you have fewer years to collect them. Eventually, the larger checks catch up to the smaller ones. That's what financial planners call the break-even point. For many people, they'll tell you it happens somewhere around age 78 to 80. If you expect to live longer than that, they'll tell you to wait. If you don't, they'll tell you to claim early. Simple, straightforward, scientific. Except, real life doesn't work like a spreadsheet, because that calculation quietly makes one enormous assumption. It assumes your retirement will unfold exactly as planned. No unexpected medical expenses, no spike in property taxes, no inflation surprises, no market downturns, no major financial emergencies. It treats every year of retirement as if it looks exactly like the year before. But that's not how retirement works. Life changes, needs change, expenses change. And here's something even more important. The break-even calculation quietly asks you to make an impossible prediction. It asks, when do you think you're going to die? Think about that. You're being asked to make one of the biggest financial decisions of your life, based on something no one can possibly know. Imagine claiming at 62 because you believe you probably won't live very long. Then, medical science advances. Your health improves. You celebrate your 80th birthday, then your 85th, then your 90th. Suddenly, that decision you made decades earlier is still following you. Every month, your Social Security check is permanently smaller. Not because you made a bad decision, but because you made a decision using information no human being could ever know. That's why relying on the traditional break-even age can be misleading. Social Security wasn't designed to help you predict your life expectancy. It was designed to protect you from the financial risk of living longer than you expected. In other words, it's longevity insurance. Insurance isn't valuable because you hope to use it. It's valuable because you're protected if the unexpected happens. And that's exactly what the standard break-even calculator overlooks, because it focuses almost entirely on when your cumulative dollars cross over. It doesn't ask a much more important question: what happens if inflation keeps rising for the next 20 years? Because that's where the real math begins. And it's a piece of the puzzle that many retirement calculators barely mention. Now here's the part almost every retirement calculator leaves out. And once you understand it, you'll never look at your Social Security benefit the same way again. It's called the cost of living adjustment, or simply COLA. Most people know COLAs exist. Every year, the Social Security Administration reviews inflation. If prices have gone up, benefits may be adjusted to help retirees keep up with the rising cost of living. That part isn't a secret. The secret is how those adjustments actually work. Because COLAs aren't based on the same dollar amount for everyone. They're based on your monthly benefit. And that's where delaying your claim can make a much bigger difference than many people realize. Let's use a simple example. Imagine your full retirement age benefit is $2,000 per month. If you claim at 62, your benefit is permanently reduced. Instead of receiving $2,000, you receive approximately $1,400 a month. Now imagine you wait until 70. Thanks to delayed retirement credits, your monthly benefit grows to roughly $2,480. Now let's fast forward 1 year. Inflation rises. The government announces a 3% COLA. At first, 3% sounds the same for everyone, but it isn't. 3% of $1,400 is only about $42. 3% of $2,480 is nearly $74. That's a difference of more than $30 every single month from just 1 year's adjustment. And here's what many people miss. The following year, the next COLA is applied again, not to your original benefit, but to your already increased benefit. Then it happens again and again, year after year. That's the power of compounding. The person who started with the larger monthly benefit continues receiving larger dollar increases every single time a COLA is applied. Over 10 years, the gap widens. Over 20 years, it can become enormous. This isn't just about collecting a bigger check today. It's about building a stronger foundation for every future increase. Think about where many retirees spend the most money later in life. Healthcare, prescription drugs, long-term care, home assistance. Those costs often rise faster than people expect. That's why a larger inflation-adjusted benefit can become increasingly valuable later in retirement, when other savings may already be shrinking. This is why many financial professionals view Social Security not just as a monthly payment, but as a form of longevity protection. The larger your guaranteed benefit, the stronger your income floor becomes, even if markets struggle or your savings begin to run low. But there's one more piece of the puzzle, and surprisingly, it has nothing to do with inflation, nothing to do with investment returns, and nothing to do with break-even calculators. Because your claiming decision may continue affecting someone else's financial security long after you're gone. Everything we've discussed so far has focused on one person: you, your retirement, your monthly check, your financial future. But what if I told you the biggest consequence of your claiming decision might not affect you at all? It could affect the person sitting across the dinner table, the person you've spent decades building a life with, your spouse. Because when you decide when to claim Social Security, you're not just choosing when your own checks begin. In many families, you're also shaping the financial future of the person who may outlive you. Here's why. Under Social Security rules, when one spouse passes away, the surviving spouse may be eligible to receive the larger of the 2 monthly benefits, assuming all eligibility requirements are met. For many couples, that survivor benefit becomes the primary source of retirement income. Now imagine this. A husband spends 40 years working. He's tired. His back hurts. He wants to enjoy retirement while he's still healthy enough to travel, to spend time with the grandkids, to finally slow down. So he claims his Social Security at 62. It feels like the right decision. He starts receiving checks immediately. Life moves on. But because he claimed early, his monthly benefit is permanently reduced. Not for a few years, forever. Then, 15 years later, he passes away. His wife is suddenly facing one of the hardest moments of her life. She's grieving. She's adjusting to life alone. And now, she must also adjust financially. The survivor benefit she may receive is based on the benefit that was established. If that benefit was permanently reduced because of an early claim, the impact can continue long after he's gone. One decision, made years earlier, may continue affecting the household's income for years to come. And that's why focusing only on your own break-even age can miss a much bigger picture. For many married couples, this isn't simply a question of, when do I come out ahead? It's also a question of, how can I provide the strongest financial foundation for the person I love? Now consider the other path. If the higher-earning spouse delays claiming, their monthly benefit can continue growing through delayed retirement credits up until age 70. That larger benefit doesn't just increase their own retirement income, it can also increase the survivor benefit that may be available later. That's why many retirement specialists encourage married couples to look beyond simple break-even calculators. Because retirement planning isn't only about maximizing income while you're alive. It's also about protecting the person who may someday have to continue without you. In the end, Social Security isn't just a retirement decision. For many families, it's one of the last financial gifts you'll ever leave behind. And that's why this decision deserves more than a simple online calculator. It deserves a plan. Because once you understand the full picture, the question is no longer, which age pays me the most? The question becomes, which strategy gives my family the greatest financial security for the longest possible time? The decision to claim Social Security at 62, 67, or 70 isn't just about picking an age. It's about understanding what that decision means, not just today, but 10, 20, or even 30 years from now. Today, you've seen why the traditional break-even calculator tells only part of the story. It focuses on one number, while ignoring everything that makes retirement unpredictable. It doesn't fully account for inflation. It doesn't show you how larger cost of living adjustments can compound over time. And it certainly doesn't calculate the financial impact your decision may have on your spouse. The truth is, there isn't one perfect claiming age for everyone. Every retirement is different. Your health matters, your savings matter, your work plans matter, your family matters. That's why the best decision isn't based on a generic online calculator. It's based on a strategy designed around your life. But let's assume you've looked at the numbers and you've decided that waiting until 70 makes the most sense. That creates a new challenge. How do you actually pay your bills between retirement and age 70 without putting your financial future at risk? That's the question many retirees struggle with, because delaying Social Security only works if you have a plan to bridge the gap. Should you withdraw from your 401k, your traditional IRA, your Roth IRA? Should you take money from taxable investments first or preserve them for later? Making the wrong choice can create unnecessary taxes, reduce future growth, and leave you with less money over the course of retirement. But making the right choice can help you delay your Social Security, maximize your monthly benefit, and potentially leave your family in a much stronger financial position. That's exactly what we'll cover in the next video. I'll walk you through the bridge strategy used by many retirement planners to help cover living expenses while allowing Social Security benefits to continue growing. We'll look at real examples, real numbers, and practical strategies you can actually understand. So before you make one of the biggest financial decisions of your retirement, make sure you understand every option available to you. Click the video on your screen now, and let's build the strategy that could help maximize your lifetime retirement income. Thank you for spending these few minutes with me. Take care of yourself, take care of the people you love, and I'll see you in the next one.